guys get in the mix.
How do you think Phil has handled the workload late in the year? Does it seem like he's maybe a bit worn down in some stretches?
I mean, he's a machine, you know, like he really is. I mean, physically and mentally, he's been great. Like, you know, I'm not really seeing a drop off or anything if that's what you're asking. I mean, this guy's he's built to last, you know, and he's a special individual because of that.
I guess with Troy Stellato being out for the rest of the year, I guess which receivers need to step up to kind of fill the void there, do you think?
Yeah, I mean, you know, Cole Turner, Adam Randall, those guys continuing to get production for us and get snaps. You know, Tink Kelly probably opens the door for him a little bit to really get in there and show what he can do. So, you know, certainly excited to see him specifically in this game.
With the playoffs kind of in the back of everybody's mind, who on the team is keeping the guys focused on the game-by-game mindset rather than looking too far ahead?
I mean, it always starts at the top. You know, we got the ultimate leader that way that can keep you focused and dialed in. And you know, it's the same with me. I mean, we got a game this week, and we just got to keep our head down. I don't care who we play, and that's always the focus you're going to have and you need to have. And I think we've got a mature enough group as players that they truly understand that. That's not just us with coach speak. Like, I think we have a group of young kids, young student athletes that truly understand that.
It was last week on Dallas Wings radio show talking about TJ Moore impacting the game without the football. Just where have you seen him grow in that area, or what areas can he continue to grow as a player?
Yeah, I mean, he has grown. You know, really I feel like the last couple of weeks, just kind of the next level of strain without the ball. You know, whether it's blocking, whether it's running off. You know, whatever his assignment is, like I'm just starting to see that more and more consistently with him, and you know, it's always a good sign to see from a receiver, a freshman. You know, like a kid that's obviously special as a pass catcher, but doing some things away from the ball. He's I think he's starting to see that from the other people in the room. Like he sees how Antonio plays without the ball. You know, he sees those older guys and how they're doing their job at a high rate that way without the ball, and so I just think he's starting to the light's starting to click, like, hey, you know, I have to do that, and you know, you certainly have seen some growth that way with him.
On that note, just on the receiver blocking, how have you seen this group as a whole get better in that aspect?
All year, I mean, yeah, all year. That was a huge point of emphasis for us in the off season leading up to the season, and you know, the buy-in, the why. You know, I just think that's been a big point of emphasis for us as coaches as we went into this year, that group, and Coach Chris done a great job with them, and K-Rich with the tight ends when they're displaced and they're out, you know, not in the core and they're actually lined up as a receiver, same thing. Like, that's a huge part of what we do, and you know, our guys have bought into that.
On the idea of working off the ball, are you seeing guys coming in young, like expecting that part to be more a part of their game than you used? I just feel like we've been talking about that. I mean, I've been in football like 15 years now, and like that, the conversation is a lot more obvious and loud. Do you see guys coming in expecting it, or are you surprised even that like it's still something you have to like sit these guys down and be like, you have to play off the ball at a different level?
I think kind of just depends on where some of these kids come from, right? Like what did they play in high school? Did they ever block in high school? Were they always on a route or always on RPO, so they never blocked? Like, I think that's part of it, is kind of what they came from a background, high school background. You know, but I think just the more things are out there, just like anything, stuff that's out there on social media, stuff that they see on TV, like, I think just receivers are kind of programmed now, like, you better, if you want to advance at this game, like, you're going to have to be someone that's willing and, you know, to block and to be a factor in that area. So I think that's probably part of it too, is it's just kind of out there more, maybe like you're asking.
Any questions for Coach virtually? Anybody else in the room?
Just with year two coming to a close, where do you feel like you've grown as a play caller within just this system specifically?
I mean, you always feel like you should get more comfortable and you know, better each year as a coach, whether you're the play caller or not. You know, but I would say probably the biggest thing is really understanding our team, understanding what we have, our strengths and weaknesses. So that to me is probably the biggest difference from year 1 to year 2, just for me specifically. Yep.
Wanted to ask about the senior day celebrations this week. I know you guys do a lot throughout the week, and then obviously the moment on Saturday. As a coach who recently joined the program, you talked about, so many conversations with older guys and all of that. Just what this group of seniors has meant and what these moments are like for you as a coach.
Yeah, I mean, they really are moments you kind of always remember, right? I mean, it's just a special day and a day to honor them. And for me being here now 2 years, like, this is the group that I know, right? And so we've had a lot of great moments already with that group. We've had some moments where it hadn't been so good either, so I've kind of been through it with those guys a little bit now. So yeah, I mean, these days, I can remember a lot of senior days I've been a part of, so they're always special as a coach.
Coach Sweeney mentioned yesterday that 9 offensive linemen were out for Tuesday's practice. I guess how difficult was yesterday's practice for you and your staff with those injuries?
I mean, you have to have other guys kind of step up, and then you got to adapt and adjust a little bit as coaches on how you practice and how you can kind of manage, the load for the guys that are repping. So that's always kind of the key, where you got to get them enough to get them prepared, but you got to be smart too to hopefully get them as fresh as possible to go play the game fast.
How good do you feel about freshmen like Mason Wade or Roman O'Connell? They had to get in now. The depth is kind of depleted on the line.
Yeah. I mean, those guys have been working, and those guys have, those two specifically, I've seen a lot of growth in just in this last month. With the reps that they do get, the drills, just all the stuff that we do throughout a practice. Like, those guys have definitely gotten better. And I think the confidence level just within the room, just from a player standpoint, has grown with those two.
Anyone else for Coach? All right, Coach. Appreciate
Okay.
your time.
All right, guys. Thanks.